My dears, Granny has missed you so much. And Ginger the cat has too. Now tell me, are your teeth brushed? Your pajamas on? Now listen closely. Open your ears and your imagination, because Granny is about to begin tonight's bedtime tale just for you.
The Three Soldiers and the Magic Nose. Once upon a time, there were 3 brave soldiers named Faiz, Nader, and Galeb. They loved their country deeply and had spent many years fighting to protect it. When the war finally ended, they returned home tired, old, and hopeful. They imagined that people would welcome them, thank them, and reward them for their courage. But no one welcomed them. No one remembered their sacrifices. No one offered them help. They became poor and forgotten, and they had no choice but to travel from place to place, looking for food, shelter, and work. One evening, after walking for many hours, the 3 friends reached a dark forest. The sun had disappeared, and the night was cold. They were afraid of wild animals, so they decided to sleep in turns. 2 of them would rest while the 3rd stayed awake to guard the others. First, Faiz and Nader slept, and Galeb stayed awake. He gathered wood, lit a fire, and sat beside it with his eyes wide open. After a while, a strange little dwarf appeared from behind a tree. He was short and old, and he wore a red cloak. The dwarf asked, "Who are those men sleeping under the tree?" Galeb answered kindly, "They are my friends. We were soldiers. We spent our lives fighting for our country, but now we are old, poor, and forgotten. Come sit by the fire and warm yourself." The dwarf was touched by Galeb's kindness. He said, "You have a good heart. Take this magic cloak, keep it safe. Whenever you wear it and wish for something, your wish will come true at once." Galeb thanked him and carefully hid the cloak. Later that night, it was Faiz's turn to guard. The same dwarf came again. Faiz also treated him kindly and told him their sad story. The dwarf gave Faiz a magic purse and said, "This purse will never become empty. No matter how much gold you take from it, more gold will appear inside." Faiz was filled with joy and thanked him. Then it was Nader's turn to guard. The dwarf came to him too. After hearing his story, he gave him a magic horn. The dwarf said, "If you blow this horn 3 times, a great army will appear and obey your command." In the morning, the 3 friends told each other what had happened. Each one showed the magical gift he had received. They were amazed and happy. After years of sadness and poverty, fortune had finally smiled on them. Faiz said, "We have gold that never ends. Why should we suffer anymore? Let us travel and enjoy life." His friends agreed. They went to the nearest city, bought fine clothes, food, and everything they needed. Then they began to travel around the world. They visited beautiful cities, crossed seas in ships, rode in fine carriages, and saw mountains, rivers, gardens, and palaces. Wherever they went, they helped poor people and gave generously from the magic purse. For 3 years they lived like rich travelers, but after a long time they became tired of moving from place to place. They wanted a quiet home where they could live together in peace. So Galeb put on the magic cloak and wished for a beautiful palace for himself and his 2 friends. At once, a grand palace appeared before them. It had wide gardens, green fields, stables, lovely rooms, and everything they needed for a comfortable life. The three friends settled there happily. One day they decided to visit the ruler of the nearby kingdom. They sent him a message, and he welcomed them with great honor because he believed they were noble princes. The ruler had a beautiful daughter. She was clever, but she was also greedy. She loved rare and magical things, and when she saw Faiz carrying the golden purse, she became curious. She asked him, "What is that beautiful purse?" Faiz trusted her and said, "It is a magic purse. It never becomes empty. Whenever I take gold from it, more gold appears." The princess wanted the purse for herself. She secretly ordered a servant to make another purse that looked exactly like it. Then she invited Faiz to visit her. She offered him tea, but she had mixed sleeping medicine into it. When Faiz drank the tea, he fell into a deep sleep. The princess quickly took the real magic purse and placed the fake purse in his pocket. When Faiz returned to his friends, they tried to take gold from the purse, but it was empty. They understood at once that the princess had tricked him. Faiz was heartbroken. "We are poor again," he said sadly. But Ghaleb answered, "Do not worry. We still have the magic cloak. I will bring back the purse." That night, Ghaleb wore the cloak and wished to enter the princess's room. In an instant, he found himself inside her chamber. There she was, sitting alone, happily counting gold from the magic purse. When she saw him, she screamed, "Thief! Thief!" Guards and servants rushed into the room. Ghaleb became frightened and forgot about the cloak. He wished only to escape. He jumped out of the window and ran away, but the magic cloak fell behind him. The princess was delighted. Now she had the magic purse and the magic cloak. When Ghaleb returned to his friends, he told them what had happened. He was ashamed and sad. Nader said, "Do not lose hope. We still have the magic horn." He blew the horn 3 times. At once, a great army appeared before him. Nader ordered the army to surround the ruler's palace and demand the return of the magic purse and the magic cloak. The army marched to the palace and surrounded it. The ruler became afraid, but the princess remained calm. She was clever and full of tricks. She dressed herself as a beautiful singer and took her maid with her. Then she went to the soldiers' camp and began to sing in a sweet voice. The soldiers came out of their tents to listen. They forgot their duty and gathered around her. Even Nader listened to the music and forgot about the magic horn. At the princess's signal, her maid slipped quietly into Nader's tent and stole the horn. The maid ran back to the palace and blew the horn 3 times. At once, the army obeyed the sound of the horn and left the palace. Now the princess had all 3 magical gifts, the purse, the cloak, and the horn. The 3 soldiers were poor again. They felt ashamed and helpless. At last, they decided to separate and search for work. Faiz and Nader walked together toward the north. Ghaleb walked alone until he reached a forest. He was hungry, tired, and sad, so he lay down under a tree and fell asleep. When he woke up in the morning, he saw the tree was full of ripe apples. He picked one and ate it. It was sweet and delicious, so he ate another, then another. Suddenly, something strange began to happen. His nose started to grow. It grew longer and longer. It reached the ground, then stretched across the grass. It became so long and heavy that Golub could hardly move. He was terrified. After some time, Faiz and Nader passed through the same forest. Faiz tripped over something lying on the ground. When he looked closely, he realized it was Golub's nose. The two friends were shocked. They followed the long nose until they found Golub sitting miserably under the apple tree. They tried to help him. They brought a donkey and placed him on its back, but his nose was too long and too heavy. They did not know what to do. Then the same dwarf appeared. He laughed gently and said, "Do not be afraid. The apples made his nose grow, but the pears from the nearby tree will cure him." Faiz and Nader quickly picked some pears and gave them to Golub. As soon as he ate them, his nose began to shrink. Little by little, it returned to its normal size. The three friends were overjoyed. The dwarf said, "These apples and pears can help you get back what the princess stole. Take some apples to her. If she eats them, her nose will grow too. Then use the pears to cure her, but only after she returns your magical gifts." The friends thanked the dwarf. Golub filled a basket with the magic apples and went to the palace disguised as a fruit seller. He called out that he had rare and delicious apples that could not be found anywhere else. The princess heard about the apples and ordered a servant to buy some. When she tasted one, she loved it. She ate another, then another. Soon her nose began to grow. It grew longer and longer until it reached her chest, then her knees, then the floor. The princess screamed in fear. Doctors and healers came from everywhere, but none of them could cure her. The ruler promised a great reward to anyone who could save his daughter, but no one succeeded. Then Golub disguised himself as a doctor and went to the palace. He examined the princess and asked what she had eaten. She told him about the apples. Golub gave her a tiny piece of pear. Her nose became a little shorter. The princess was relieved and begged him to continue the cure. The next day he gave her another small piece. Her nose became shorter again, but it was still far too long. Golub said, "This sickness has a strange cause. It will not disappear completely unless you confess the truth and return what belongs to others." At first the princess denied everything, but she was frightened and desperate. Finally, she went to her father and confessed. She admitted that she had stolen the magic purse, the magic cloak, and the magic horn from the three soldiers. The ruler was angry and ashamed. He ordered her to return the gifts at once. When Golub received the purse, the cloak, and the horn, he gave the princess more pear. Her nose shrank back to its normal size. The ruler offered Golub a reward, but he refused. He wanted only to return to his friends. Golub wore the magic cloak and wished to be with Faiz and Nader. In an instant, he stood beside them. The three soldiers were together again. They had their magical gifts back, and they had learned a valuable lesson. Never trust greedy people with precious secrets. From that day on, Faiz, Nader, and Golub lived happily together. They used their magic wisely, helped the poor, protected one another, and remained loyal friends for the rest of their lives.
Nighty-nighty, sweethearts.
Sleep, my baby, my little light. Close your eyes, the stars sweetest star, perfect just the